Spiritual Teaching 154. Love each other. 1. The light of my Spirit illuminates you in this dawn of grace. 2. My teaching and examples of the second era have not been understood by humanity, because instead of love for each other, I find a division between peoples and a struggle between different doctrines, sects, and religions. I came to give you an example of humility, from my cradle until I expired among you on a cross. My life, my examples and teachings, and my sacrifice have not been imitated by men. 3. That page of the book of God was a teaching for all times. I left everything in it at that time I had to tell you. Nothing could I forget. I announced that I would return among you, and here I am, fulfilling my promise. But I contemplate your troubled world, men trying to change the face of the planet with their beliefs and doctrines. Today I come full of love to tell you, if you have not understood the teachings of the second era, I am come to help you with my word to understand them. 4. Here. Once Jesus approached the bank of the Jordan, and there he found John the Baptist teaching his disciples, announcing the coming of the kingdom of heaven. The foreigner of the second era, contemplating the light of his gaze, the serenity of his face, and the divine majesty that Jesus radiated, he recognized the Messiah and bowed before him. John was found preparing his disciples and had heard about the doctrine that Jesus had been teaching. He had told them, "Kingdom draws near to men," and when he found himself in front of the Redeemer, he instantly recognized him and exclaimed, "Lo there, this is he, the one whose sandal straps I am not worthy to tie." 5. But since John was my prophet and my servant, his teachings were united to mine, and his disciples were also mine. 6. On another occasion, when Jesus was in the vicinity of a village, he sent his disciples to look for food to feed themselves. And when they returned, they found John's disciples preaching. Then, arriving before the Master, they said, "Lord, Lord, we have met some men who preached a doctrine and did wonders. Is this within your law?" Jesus said to them, "Why are you scandalized? Anyone who practices charity is within the law." 7. Today I tell you this, disciples of the third era, so that you do not judge outside of my law to those you meet on your way, sowing love, charity, and light, whatever the name of the doctrine they practice. 8. At that time I was not recognized by everyone as the divine sower. For many I was just a Galilean who preached on earth. Only those who found in the word of Jesus the voice of the divine recognized him as the Son of the Most High. 9. The one that manifests among you today is the same one who spoke to you in the second era. You then contemplated me as a man. It is not the same now. That Master, with a serene forehead, with a gentle look and sweet speech, comes today in spirit and speaks to you through man. 10. Whoever wants to feel and contemplate me under this form of communication, let his mind and his heart do so. 11. Many of you have lost peace of mind, but when you contemplate the peace and trust of your brothers, you have taken refuge in them, in their faith and in their hope, desiring to reach the port of salvation. This is how you will help each other. 12. At this time I will form a people that is jealous of my law, a lover of truth and charity. That people will be as a mirror in which others can see reflected the mistakes they have made. It won't be anyone's judge, but his virtues, works, and fulfillment will touch the spirit of all who cross his path, and will signal their errors to all who break my law. 13. When this people is strong and numerous, it will attract the attention of its companions, because the clarity of its works and the sincerity of his worship will have to surprise humanity. Then men will ask themselves, who are these people who, without having temples, know how to pray in such a way? Who has taught these multitudes to pray, worshiping their God, without feeling the need to raise altars for their worship? Where did these walkers and missionaries come from? They like birds do not sow or reap or spin and yet subsist. 14. And I will tell you, this poor and humble people, but jealous of my law and strong against the passions of the world, has not been prepared by any man. These multitudes that enjoy doing good, enlightened by inspiration and know how to lead hearts to the message of peace and the drop of balm, have not been taught by teachers or ministers of any cult of the earth. Truly I tell you that, at this time there is not a single man in your world who knows or could teach the worship of God under true spirituality. It is not in the splendor of rites or ceremonies, nor in the wealth or earthly power where the truth lies, that by being humble, it seeks clean hearts as a temple, noble, sincere, lovers of the pure. Where are those hearts? 15. Christian names a large part of this humanity, without even knowing what the word Christ means or know his doctrine. 16. What did you do with my word, with my examples, with my doctrine that I gave you at that time? 17. Are you currently men more evolved than those of that era? Why don't you show it with the works of your spirit? Do you think that this life is eternal, or do you think that you should only evolve through human science? 18. I came to teach you the true fulfillment of the law, so that you would turn this world into a great temple where the true God was worshipped, where the life of man was a constant offering of love to his Father, to whom he should love in each one of his likenesses, thus paying tribute to his Creator and Master. 19. And now that I have returned to men, what do I find? Lies and selfishness have replaced truth and charity, pride and vanity, instead of meekness and humility, idolatry, fanaticism, and ignorance, instead of light, elevation, and spirituality, profit and profanation, where only zeal and righteousness should exist. Hatred and war unleashed between brothers have replaced brotherhood, peace, and love. 20. But I will come to my temple to drive out the merchants as I did in the secondary in the temple of Jerusalem, and I will tell you once again, do not make the house of prayer a market house. I will teach men so that each one knows how to officiate before the true altar, so that they are no longer confused or lost in ignorance, due to the misinterpretations they give to my law. 21. The Master tells you that the minister is the spirit, the altar being the heart, prayer is high thought, and offerings are the good works that you can present to me. 22. When you feel that charity and love towards your brothers form your true life, how can the world not understand that the heart is not just an insensitive organ and that the spirit is more than matter? You must understand that inspiration is more valuable than the images that man has forged to represent the divine, and that the good deeds with which you bear witness to my law are more meritorious than the most valuable earthly goods. 23. Truly I tell you, if you want to save your faith and thus prevent your spirit from sinking in this storm, you must build your temple spiritually. Let my kingdom descend into your heart. Against its light, no one can struggle. You will see then, when the whirlwind passes, how the invisible, but strong and great temple will rise, whose foundations will be in your heart. 24. Contemplate how in this instant the world is illuminated with the divine light that radiates from my spirit. The light helps you in your progress and understanding, and with it you achieve peace. 25. Light and love are born from the heart. Peace is in the spirit as a reflection of eternity. 26. My word is sweet, but do not get tired of it, because I will find your hearts empty, recreating only in the material enjoyments. That is why I often come to you, to make your heart beat with a different rhythm that gets in touch with the divine, because you always lose the path of your fulfillment. 27. Why have there been and are there men who, having come to know human science with the use of the faculties that the Creator granted them, do they use it to combat and ignore the divine science? Because their vanity does not allow them to penetrate with humility and respect in the arcanum of the Lord, and they seek their goal and their throne in this world. 28. From among sinners I will select those who at this time will serve me. My power will vibrate in them, and I will transform with my grace. 29. Reconcile yourselves with your consciousness so that you may be forgiven by it. Because while you believe you are in preparation and do not listen to the inner voice that points out your mistakes, there will be no communication with mean, or can it disappear? Idolatry. 30. At this time I speak to you as Father and as Judge, but do not fear that love and tenderness of a mother also exist in the divine whom you call Mary. 31. My beloved children, feel love towards her. I listen to the prayer that springs from your spirit to praise it, because you know that your lips are clumsy to do so, because you consider them impure and prefer to close them. 32. But, I ask you, is there someone who has not received a caress from their heavenly mother? I really tell you that all, absolutely all of you receive of her love. 33. See those who yesterday were lost, now are climbing the heights of the mountain. Today you can among the scum, and soon, through my grace and your merits of patience and charity in this time of spiritual melting pot, they will also make you rise above all misery. Do not forget that the Spirit is the architect of pain. 34. The Spirit and the body are forming a harmonious being, aware of its spiritual and human duties. You have witnessed the evolution of doctrines, and in your meditation you have come to understand who is the creator of all the beauty of your world, because there is no longer darkness in your mind. 35. You live in peace because you seek to be in harmony with your God, and peace is a treasure for the spirit in this world, which he experiences after having fulfilled all duties to the Father. 36. Try to live always experiencing that satisfaction so that at the moment of your elevation of this valley towards the other, do not carry in your spirit any earthly concern or pain for lack of fulfillment. 37. You cannot tire of doing good, since you are doing it to yourself. Talk about me teaching with love, and my word will flourish in hearts. 38. I am preparing you and filling you with wisdom, because I have already told you that after 1950, you will no longer listen to my word by human understanding, and whoever does not take advantage of my lessons will feel empty in his heart and will wander as dead. By why as dead? Because spiritually and morally you will feel down, and in your trials you will not find the strength to overcome and perceive my divine caress. 39. It is up to you to bring those brothers of yours back to life, separating them from materialism and persuading them of the grace so great that it contains spirituality. 40. After 1950, I will continue to demonstrate for the inspiration of each one of you. If you know how to prepare, I will do prodigies. I only ask that your faith be at least the size of a mustard seed, and you will see my word fulfilled. 41. Speak and give charity without fear of being censured. It is necessary that you extend your hand to your fellow men without distinction, because you do not know who are those who suffer the most inwardly. You will see many times how your brothers, when listening to you, they will rejoice and give you palpable signs of gratitude. 42. Invite them tirelessly to the path of good, and already in it many pains will depart from them. 43. On the New Jerusalem the manna will descend. 44. I will cause freedom of belief and speech to exist among you, and that there be justice, so that by penetrating you men of other nationalities, upon your return, carry in your heart a present of love and lit an ideal of brotherhood and justice. 45. After 1950, humanity waits for true peace. But I tell you, it is necessary that the exterminating sickle continue mowing the weeds until the fields are clean and the year of wheat can shine. 46. You will see leaving this world notable leaders who are obstacles to peace, and the nations that oppose the divine justice will disappear to make way for new peoples that will arise right there. 47. Pray that you already deposit your seed of peace. Unify as one heart and one thought, and you will feel very close my presence. 48. Fulfill the mandate that in 2 stages I have left you. Love one another. 49. As the promised land was distributed to the people of Israel, so it will distribute the whole earth to humanity. This will happen when the time is right, after debugging, as it is my will to make that distribution. In it there will be justice and equity, so that all men can work together in the same work. 50. Today, the peoples eat the crumbs from the table of the kings and lords, while they get rich accumulating the bread of his servants and vassals. But being hard the crusts of the poor, these are not so better like the delicacies that the great eat. 51. One and the other are victims. That is why it is necessary that I come to liberate you, to break your chains. But it is also necessary that slavery and devastation caused by plagues is increasing, because otherwise men would not want to follow him who comes to save you. Do you remember the cup Israel drank when in Egypt they groaned in slavery? It was necessary for Moses to emerge to lead him to liberation. Do you remember also when the people were in their own homeland and how the other nations held captive and humiliated? When the Messiah appeared on earth to teach them the way of salvation. 52. Also at this time it will be necessary that before liberation men know the narrowness, the misery, oppression, injustice, hunger, thirst, so that they finally get up wanting to find another life that is better. 53. When this humanity sheds its materialism and begins to recognize how far away it has lived from my law, he will say from his heart, how foolish and clumsy men have been in voluntarily surrendering ourselves to passions, to later be slaves of them. There is the mountain from which I have shown you my law. Go by the path that I have pointed out to you. The land of promise finds its doors eternally open and waiting for the crowds, to whom he is bringing peace and blessings. 54. When man has descended to the bottom of the abyss and tired of fighting and suffering, he no longer has strength to save himself. He will see in wonder how he emerges from the depths of his very weakness, his despair and disappointment, an unknown force that is the one that emanates from the Spirit, which when realizing that the hour of his liberation, flapping his wings, he will rise from the rubble of a world of vanities, selfishness, and of lies to say, there is Christ the repudiated, he lives. In vain we have wanted to kill him at every step and in every day. He lives and comes to save us and give us all his love. 55. That will be the hour when man recognizes that to achieve true spiritual greatness, as well as a life elevated on earth, there is no other law than that of God, nor more doctrine than the one I gave you in the word of Jesus. 56. Analyze your conflicts, study the problems that afflict you, and then put my commandments into practice and my maxims, and you will see how in them humanity can find the solution to all the problems that afflict. But since you do not feel capable of putting into practice the words and examples that the Divine Master gave you, it will be necessary for the pain that is also a master to approach you, to persuade you of many truths, to sensitize you, and also to bend you. 57. You ask me, does your word have enough power to persuade us of our mistakes and save us, avoiding having to go through the crucible of pain? And I tell you, my word has more force than the one that you could come to suppose. But if the one who listened to me was transformed instantly, without effort, So just for having listened to it, what credit would that have on your part? 58. It is necessary that he who listens to it put faith, will, effort, and love. Then there will be a great merit, whose prize or reward will be that of not feeling the pain, because it has taken as a weapon my law and my doctrine. 59. Multitudes who are listening to me, do you not feel the presence of my law on your spirit? Don't you feel that upon hearing my word, your heart beats with a new life? 60. Pray that you understand, and watch so that you put my teachings into practice, because in this bitter and difficult hour for humanity, you have great responsibilities. 61. If, despite the great vicissitudes that afflict you, you do not lose that atom of spirituality that you have achieved, you will see real wonders and wonders being carried out on your way, with which I will encourage you on the hard journey. My peace be with you.